Welcome to Marketplace with Charles, where dreams are turned into reality. Marketplace is brought to you by Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you, as well as Guwisa Lodge from deep in the heart of Mabalingwe Nature Reserve. I am Ketiwe Pagati. On Marketplace, we empower and equip you with tools needed to achieve your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we bring you insights from experts in different fields of business, from women as well as men of faith. And on today's program, we have a young author, a business consultant, and an inspirational speaker in his own right. The truth is, the reality facing not only South Africa, but almost all the nations of the world in this era is the alarming unemployment rate, thanks in part to COVID-19. With millions of people having lost their jobs, there could never be a greater sense of urgency as well as awakening to entrepreneurship than right now. And yet of greater importance is the dependence of people will need to have in God during these trying times, not only to call for courage to start their own business, but also to find new ways of conducting those businesses in this highly restrictive as well as hostile environment of the pandemic. Well then, my guest today will address how, especially for young people, you can deal with this situation in an attempt to make the best of it. Welcome, Mr. Ndivhuwo, with me into your home, your hotel room, or wherever you may be joining us from today. Ndivhuwo, greetings and welcome to the Marketplace with Charles.
Greetings, Ketiwe. Thank you for having me in your program, and greetings to your viewers.
I am so excited to talk to you, especially because of the title of your book, The Praying Entrepreneur. But before we even get there, just inform our viewers the background of your business and what it is exactly that you're offering us.
Yeah, I'll start a bit about who I am. So my name is Ndivhuwo Vhuatsha. I was actually born in a village called Makita village in Limpopo. The business that I'm in is accounting and IT consulting services. That includes website developments and online stores.
Okay, great. So that's an industry that has lots of room for growth. I mean, 100%. We've already seen that, right, in the era that we're in. But you started your consultancy at a very young age. That has to do with a lot of risk, right? So please tell us about the time you took the plunge and what pushed you to that.
Yes, entrepreneurship actually came into my life on my first year in University of Venda, where I was doing accounting science. So what happened is I was studying with a bursary, but at that point of time, my parents were actually unemployed. So you know how it is in the tertiary level. So what was happening is there were other stuff or other things that I wanted to be able to afford myself, but I was unable to afford them because I cannot ask money from my parents, or either way I had to find a way to start my own thing and have passive income. That's where entrepreneurship actually kicked in my life. So what happened is at that point of time, that's where I said, that means I need to sell something in order for me to make money to be able to settle all the other needs that I might have instead of bothering my parents even if they are unemployed. That's how I started entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay. So already at a young age, you saw asking your parents to fend for you as bothering. That's very brave to say and acknowledge. And you know, the country that we're in, right? Unfortunately, it is true. A lot of people are enslaved by the notion of job security. So how did you break out of that mold?
First of all, I would say it's a mindset that we actually grow up with. To say to be successful, you need to go to school, get your degree, get employed, and then now you are successful. So how did I break? So hence I said it was because of the situation that I was in. I had to find other ways of making income, and the only way that I could was to start my own business. The reason why I decided to start a consulting firm is because everyone around there, they always say, we can't start business because we don't have funding. So I had to find a way to start a business that doesn't need any capital to start. So that came up about me praying, and then I was like, God, I don't have anything, but I know I want to start something. That's where it comes in to say, no, you can use the knowledge that you are studying in class. I was doing accounting, business studies, and all those things. So I understand how the business operates. So why don't I teach other people who are interested in business, but yet they are actually studying nutrition or studying that specific things that actually get them jobs, but they don't understand how they can utilize that to make a living as entrepreneurs for themselves. That's how I actually broke the mindset. So that's how I actually started my first consulting company at 18 years old. Yeah.
Okay, so with that part of recognizing that other people are also studying within various industries, and it could possibly be an opportunity for them to venture in those industries in the business method rather than job security. Yes. Have you managed to extend that help to them, to show them that you can take the business route in your same profession, and how did that go?
So the first thing that I did since I was still in university, so what I did posters, and I say, anything consulting. I just need a person with an idea, and then the only thing that I'll do is I'll help you make that idea to become something that you can make income out of. So I've actually managed to help some of the students that were studying in different fields. Some of them you find that in sales. So I can say no. I just told them to say no. Look, we can start a business. You can go to that store and say, I will sell this I will sell this for you. You just give me this commission. And that's how actually I managed to get some of the students up and running and starting their business at a young age at that point of time.
Can you see me get excited? I'm sure you can, because I've got businesses myself. So you're telling me you have salespeople out there for me and other viewers watching.
Yes.
Now, with somebody talking with such poise, right? I mean, writing a book with such a daring title, The Praying Entrepreneur. We want to know that this praying entrepreneur is not challengeless. You're not just sailing through just because you're praying, unless you're here to fool us somehow. So we want you to talk us through some of the few challenges you've had and how you've dealt with them.
Okay, I think because you said you have businesses, so you would actually understand that entrepreneurship is actually one of the most challenging kind of career that one can get in themselves in. Why? Because you're actually everything in one place. So you are a salesperson, you are a CEO, you are everything. Everything is expected out of you. So the challenges that I actually came across was sometimes actually I had to get clients. How do I get clients at that point of time? I was not a salesperson. So that's when now the power of prayer came in to say, if I can ask God, if I can have faith that whatever that I've started will actually get me to somewhere, then that's where now with prayer, asking God, then the ideas came in. Then I started finding ways of getting clients and finding ways of making the clients happy as well.
Now, you've written a book here. Yes. It's in my hand, so it's real. People can come by it. It's called The Praying Entrepreneur, How Prayer Can Help You Achieve More in Business. We want to hear it from the horse's mouth. How has it helped you achieve more in business? And by more, I mean more than the person who's running a business like you without the praying.
Actually, prayer, from my practical experiences, ever since I started, I forgot to tell you my background. So my parents always told me that to whatever that you're going to do or whatever that you're going to start, make sure that you start by making sure that God knows what you're doing. And as well, make sure that through prayer, throughout the step, make sure that you always inform God. If there's anything that you cannot do, then you can as well ask God. So I've always put prayer to be the first before I can do anything. So with my businesses, I was actually starting up and I had no one to look up for. I didn't have what nowadays you have to say you have mentors. I didn't have mentors. So the only mentor that I have was to bow down and say, God, what can I do next? How can I get my business to the next level? Which actually helped me. So it got me to the point where I managed to get my business to Gauteng, start my accounting firm. But the thing is, sometimes I used to come across financial issues where I didn't know what to do and I didn't know who to ask help from. But from my experience, and I've said this in many times and even in other interviews, that I've always bowed down. So I have a specific praise in the book. I've always bowed down and asked God for forgiveness and all those other things that one should do. That's prerequisite of your prayer. And then I'll say, God, I know you're the only father that I have. And you should be the first person that I should ask help from before I can start complaining or thinking the world is against me. So I would say, Father, this is what is happening in my business. I'm actually suffering financial. I don't know how to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm telling you, within 24 hours, from all my experiences, within 24 hours, something will always happen. A client will just go and say, you give me a quote 3 months ago and I'm ready to pay. Can I pay today? Let's start the job. That has always been my experience, even up to date. So I've always found a way that actually prayer to me has been the main point of success in terms of where I get ideas and where I navigate around my entrepreneurship journey. Yeah.
Ndivhuwo, there's a burning question that I have just because of your answer. I mean, there's a 24-hour claim in there somewhere, but let's go to a break and then we'll be back for the rest. Okay. And viewers at home, don't you go anywhere. I will continue with my guest after the break right here on Marketplace with Charles. And congratulations for staying with us right here. We're still enjoying our lovely time with my guest, Ndivhuwo. Now, sir, you made a claim there. When you go down on your knees and you pray, within 24 hours, there's an answer. Is there a formula for that in this book?
I actually documented elements of my prayer, which I can just summarize to you. So the first thing that I do is I bow down and say, God, please forgive me for whatever that I've done, which I might not know. Okay. And second thing, I thank God for everything that He has done for me previously. And again, I acknowledge His power in my life and to other people around me as well. And again, then I'll ask whatever that I want to ask, and I'll be specific. I will tell Him exactly what is my problem, and I won't tell Him exactly how He must actually answer me, but I will tell Him what is my problem, because I know all the time He always has His ways of answering me. So I'll just tell Him I'm actually financial suffering currently, and then after then I'll thank Him for answering my prayer. Immediately when I've asked, and then I'll say, Father, thank you for answering my prayer, because I believe already that He has answered my prayer before I could even say Amen. Then yes, then I'll conclude the prayer.
Very inspirational. Now, earlier on you mentioned something about passive income, Ndivhuwo. Yes. If income is passive, yes, how does that then not stifle your entrepreneurship aspirations?
So, okay, for income to be passive, that means there's two incomes. There's what we call the main income coming in. It's either you're a student, you're getting your bursary fees, or it's either you're employed, you're getting your salary, but you want to get something to complement or to supplement your income. So, yes, most of entrepreneurs, they start passive, most of them, and then it gets to the point where business grows to the point where that becomes the main income.
But isn't passive implying that I'm not actively generating the money? It's just coming in anyway.
I'm not actually 100% in that space of making that particular money. So you are a student full-time, and then with your part-time, you actually, and then it graduates, and then you become a full-time entrepreneur. Yes.
So many young people believe in praying to God, like you say, but their belief in praying to God is to pray to God, to ask God for a job. God, give me that job, make me employable. So what would you say to such a young person who's not even thinking entrepreneurship?
Yes, first of all, that young person is telling God how God must do things. You're actually telling God that the only answer that you have for me is to give me this job. You're not asking yourself either, does God want me to create a job, or does He want me to seek? So actually, you're actually limiting your success in terms of what God can give you at that point of time.
Okay, and how would you help a young person understand what's the difference in terms of the way you speak to God? The difference in terms of praying for business or somebody participating in entrepreneurship, as well as praying for a job. What's the difference there?
Yes, so the difference is when you're praying for a job, you're actually praying for something that someone has already done. So it's very dependent on a lot of things. So you're saying there should have been someone who took the risk with the faith to start a business, and that particular person must have an opening for me to come in and carry on their dream. So actually, it's more dependent on a lot of things. That's why the probability is very low that you will actually get in. When you're praying for ideas, when you say, God, I am here, I don't know how I can get here. So you're saying, I'm willing to explore all avenues. If you want me to create, then give me the ideas. Then God, if He wants you to create, like for example, now in COVID-19 era, like in this time pandemic year, you find out most of companies are not willing to intake any new employees. Then God has to be relevant in how he's going to answer you. If there's no jobs, then he must help you create a job, right? With whatever the skills you have. So you yourself, you have the resources within you and the world around you. So God just will actually allocate those resources to get you to where you want to be.
Okay, so now there's a young person watching us right now, and they say, okay, I understand the difference between praying for business and praying for a job. And now you've just reminded them that chances of jobs right now are not happening. Now they're saying, okay, I want to follow your advice, Ndivhuwo, I want to pray for business. Now you gave a very great outline in this book that you mentioned earlier about praying for God to help you through business. I think it was a 4-step that ended with thank you, God. So what type of steps would you give for somebody who wants to pray for business ideas? How should they approach that prayer?
Okay, first of all, I would always say you must first get what you're passionate about. It's very important that you know what you're passionate about, because whatever that God is going to give you, through whatever that you're going to do, God will want to use you. So the steps that one can follow is find what's your passion. What are you good at? And what gives, and what is your purpose as well. You know, when you pray, a lot of things get revealed to you, and you get to know, oh, I can actually solve people's problem. I can fix things. You get it? Yes. And I'm passionate about doing that. Yes. At the end of the day, you're actually solving problems. That means God can use you throughout that same process. So one thing that I would say is, for a young person, identify the space that you're passionate about. And then when you pray, be specific. Tell God, I'm willing to start a business, but I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4 if you don't have whatever the resources that you want. But he knows what you are capable of and what he has embedded within you. So yeah, the first one is ask him. And the moment you have got an idea, tell him, God, I've got this idea. I'm willing to start it. Tell him in the beginning, because you don't want to tell God that I've started a business. You must tell God that I'm starting a business, because when it gets worse, God doesn't even understand the foundation, because you didn't include him when you were starting up. So yeah, so the process should be ask God when you get an idea, thank him for the idea, tell him you're starting. When you're starting, if you don't have anything, ask him, I'm lacking, I don't have funds, I don't have capital. But most of the time, you can use what you have to get where you want. And, you know, it's an idea of starting small, thinking bigger.
So, Ndivhuwo, the question that's burning me right now, and hopefully audiences at home, is what then are the challenges of being somebody who is so reliant upon faith within an industry that is, you know, not faith dependent? So how do you merge the two challenges within having a faith-based function within business?
I even said it in my book to say, the reason why I wrote my book, I just wanted to emphasize to fellow believers that one shouldn't be too spiritual to forget the practical things to do. It's very important that you know faith still requires you to do extra things, which is practical. You need to study, you need to understand the industry you are in. There's other extra activities that you'll be required, but you'll be doing them as step of faith. So the challenges that you will come through is sometimes it might actually seem impossible, but yet you still believe that, okay, fine, yes, I have faith that this business will, but at that point of time, people tell you, no, this won't work, this won't. So those are the kind of challenges you'll have to, sometimes you'll have dilemma between yourself and the external forces to say, am I at the right cause? Am I doing the right thing? Does the environment, will it allow me to get to where I am? But with faith, actually, you can actually keep believing that whatever that I'm doing now will actually get me to where I am. I'm not sure if I answered your question.
I'm totally, completely answered. No area left undone. Okay. So now you run a consultancy since a young age, yes, but you're also very passionate about talking about what you've written about, you know, yes, praying, yes, with so that you know how to function in business and be more successful, yes, by partnering with God, essentially. Yes. So besides interviews, do you give motivational talks around this subject? And if you do, just tell us a bit about that, please.
Yeah, no, I thought about that. So a lot of people ask me the same, are you a motivational speaker? The answer is not a professional motivational speaker. I'm not a professional motivational speaker. Everyone who happens to be my client, actually they get free motivation. That's what I do almost in a daily life, because I'm actually working with startup businesses. Okay. And these are the people that comes with ideas. Some, they still can't believe that they can actually get there. So I used to be the person who actually gives them that courage to say, no, you can do it. This is how you can do it. So that's the reason why I even end up writing The Praying Entrepreneur, because they ask me, what is it that we actually don't know about you that actually is making you successful in entrepreneurship? So yeah, no, motivational speaking, professional, no, but I do motivate people on a daily basis.
It's like a default benefit for working with you.
100%, yeah, it's a value-added benefit, yes.
Okay. So within that area of helping businesses, right, I'm guessing the praying entrepreneur becomes like one module, right? What other areas do you help them with within their businesses for them to function?
First of all is business consulting, right? So that's starting up as an idea, getting them all the paperwork they need. Also, I'm a professional accountant, so I also get them to the space where they need to make sure that their financial books, they are in order. And again, I just opened another company 2 years ago. We do IT consulting. We wanted to be more relevant because there's what we call fourth industrial revolution. So what we do is the same clients that I started a long time ago, now we equip them with IT, technology ways of doing business. So we do websites for them so that they can get global exposure. We do online stores so that they can sell online. So that's another thing that is actually currently the most dominant business, especially during COVID-19 time. Yeah.
And I mean, this is an age-old question, right? But I enjoy hearing different educational aspects from various speakers and people in business. Do you believe that entrepreneurship is for everyone? Because now we're basically saying, if you feel that you can't get a job because of the climate that we're in, be in business, right? So that begs the famous question, is entrepreneurship for everyone? And explain why.
Firstly, entrepreneurship is more like a spirit where you are living as a person who identifies opportunities. Everything that you see, you always see opportunities, right? So I wouldn't say everyone is born with that skill, but one can be self-employed instead of being an entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurship is just within. You can be self-employed with whatever that you have studied, whatever that you understand. You can say, I was cooking for that restaurant. Now, because I'm not employed, that means I can still cook in my own house and serve people. You see, you have self-employed yourself. So yeah, it's not for everyone, but yet it's a skill that one can learn. And since now it's what you need to survive, you can actually get this skill along the way.
Okay, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, but before we say our goodbyes, I'd like you to tell all our audiences of the Marketplace with Charles where they can get a hold of this book, The Praying Entrepreneur, how prayer can help you achieve more in business, how they can reach you to get a copy of the book. Okay.
Yes, the Praying Entrepreneur book, we have the ebook and the hard copy available on an online store. It's www.stayhome.co.za. Alternatively, you can also check the ebook. It's on Amazon, or you can call me as well on my numbers 07670345592, and then we can place a manual order for you.
Okay. Ndivhuwo, thank you so much for being with us. It was a total pleasure hosting you, and you've already given out all your contact details. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it. That was my guest, Mr. Ndivhuwo. Let us meet again next week at the same time, same place for another power-packed episode. And don't forget to check out the repeat of this episode every Wednesday bright and early, 1 a.m. on the same channel. You can also view repeats at any time that suits you by subscribing on our YouTube channel, Marketplace with Charles. That is Charles Ngobeni on YouTube. I assure you that you will not regret that decision. Thank you so much for watching Marketplace with Charles, although with Ketiwe today, brought to you by the Art of Skincare. Do remember to get in touch with us on charlesngobeni.com. You may also want to follow us on Instagram, that is Charles_Ngobeni, or even like the Facebook page, Charles Ngobeni. See you next time. God bless, and remember, you can follow Maketi Speaks Life on Facebook. Goodbye.
This is Dr. Abraham S. Raj extending an invitation from our free Bible school, KBSM, and I want to encourage you to come and train, equip, activate, and be released into the ministry. We take you all the way from believer to leadership level to ministry level. Do you believe you have a calling? Then we have the answer to usher you into your destiny. Remember, our material and our broadcasts are available all over the world. We are fully correspondent and have several international students. So why waste any further time? Contact us today as we train you into that next level of your ministry. Remember, we are free. Bless you. See you at one of our campuses.